agency TV18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.
Welcome to this very special interview. I have here with me the Managing Director of Ashok Leyland, Mr. Vinod Dasari, someone who has not just been the Managing Director of the company for 3 years, but has also been a part of this commercial vehicle industry for the last 2 decades, an industry that has gone through one of its worst slowdowns in the last many years. But thankfully, there is an upturn in sight. Mr. Dasari, good morning, and in fact, thank you for joining us on the show. Same time last year, the sector was in a very different place. It was one of the worst slowdowns that we've seen. Things have improved a lot since then, but have you seen any real signs of the cycle turning?
Things have improved, but not to the level that we'd like to see. I mean, the market, if you see, 2 years ago was 350,000, the total industry volume. It fell 25% in the first year, and it again fell 25%. Normally, it never falls 2 years in a row. So having fallen by that much, this year the market is up only 10% as of now. We're up 20%, but the market is actually up only 10%. Yes. So the good days are still to come. As they say, achhe din aane wale. We're keenly looking forward to that. So the upcycle has not yet started. So just imagine the potential going up to 350,000. That alone should give us at least a 20% market upturn for the next couple of years or more.
Okay, I think that's something that the stock is factoring in as well. As we were just discussing before the show, it's been a huge wealth creator since the start of 2014. But we've seen 2 upcycles in the past, the one from 2000 to 2008 and then a little bit till 2012 as well. I think there was about 6 to 12% growth at that point in time. Now from here, when the cycle starts, what could be the industry growth in the next, say, 2 to 3 years?
Well, let me step back and take a very long-term view. Typically in the commercial vehicle segment, in the medium and heavy commercial vehicle, for every million population, there is 1,000 annual industry volume, or we call TIV, total industry volume. This is true in all of the developed countries. It's also true in some of the BRIC countries like China, Brazil, Russia. In India, for a 1.2 billion population, the TIV should be 1.2 million. We're at 200,000. So just imagine the long-term potential that exists in the commercial vehicle segment. We were at 350,000 just 2 years ago. It came down to 200,000. So there might be a little noise in the system, but I am very bullish for the long term. I think just coming back up to 350,000 will happen in the next couple of years, but after that there will be a continuous growth as and when more and more highways come into our market. More mining will be starting, more construction will be happening. I'm very bullish about this market.
Well, let me just come to the future of the company, because that's what everyone wants to know about. One angle that has not been explored much is the export angle. And over there are many new markets, I understand, that Ashok Leyland is looking to get into. Just elaborate for us what the potential is for exports. Currently, I think it's about 20% of your overall business. How much you plan to grow it to? And given that there is a slowdown that's underway in some of the African economies, etc., are you a bit cautious there?
Well, the simple answer is we are at about 20%. I'd like to be at least 1/3 of our sales coming from outside India. Now, why do we want to do this? You step back again to say the industry that we compete in is cyclical, as we talked about, and it's almost volatile. What we went through, we want to make sure that as we did the transformation, we don't just correct the company, but we make sure that it is sustainable over a long period of time. So if you look at cyclicality, there are 2 things on it. One is the truck industry is cyclical. Second is India's truck industry is cyclical. So when we said the truck industry is cyclical, we said let us target in future the other businesses. We have 5 other businesses. We have the bus business, the light commercial vehicle business, defense business, spare parts and power solutions. These 5 businesses should grow at a faster rate so that the truck business becomes only 50% of our business. Okay. It used to be at one time 80-90% of our business. Now it's coming down, partly because the truck industry is down. But even as the truck industry comes, we have put in a lot more effort to make sure that our defense business grows significantly, our power solutions business grows significantly, so that in this market, as if I look at my revenues, we have 6 businesses, these 5 are the same as this one truck business. The second thing, to decyclicalize ourselves from the India part, we said we must grow outside this country. We are traditionally very strong in the SAARC region. In Sri Lanka, we've had a joint venture with the government for over 25 years. It's doing exceptionally well. It's one of the best performing companies in the Sri Lankan market, from a return on equity to the shareholders there. At the same time, we have got 90% of the market there. In Bangladesh, we are doing exceptionally well. But we said we need to move beyond. We identified five clusters where we said we will grow. First one was Middle East. We decided that the way to enter those markets was not just to export from here. The strategy that we took was that we will first enter with buses, not with trucks. This is because a bus moves in a limited radius. So if I have limited number of service capability, I can at least service the vehicles. Second thing we said is we will not make the bus here and ship the bus. We will make the bus locally, to local requirements, with local partners. And if we can't find a local partner, Sonia, we said we'll put up our own facility.
So just to come back...
So like that, we put up one in Russell Khaimah about 4 years ago. We opened one up which has a capacity of 2 to 4 per day. It was hugely successful. Today we are manufacturing 10 a day. We'll have a record performance in Middle East this year. Overall our export growth this year will be more than 40%. Okay. Yes, there are some markets.
So 40% growth in FY15 in exports.
Yes.
So in FY16, what is the target in terms of export growth? And you said 1/3 of total sales, that will be by when?
Over the next 3 to 5 years, we want to make sure that at least 1/3 of our sales are coming from outside. There are always pockets. For example, we launched very heavily into the CIS territory. In Ukraine and in Russia. We had partners in both these places. We are nearly 40 to 50% of the market. But the economy there collapsed because of, as you know, a variety of reasons. There are other pockets which will grow. So, yes, some parts of Africa are not doing well, but there are other parts who are doing exceptionally well. I mean, our African growth this year will at least be double of last year, and next year will be even more than double. And we are actually looking at 2 places in Africa. Right now we're still in the early stages where we'll build these factories that we talked about.
And are export margins higher than domestic margins? And because of the export growth, what will the blended margins look like? I remember the last time I spoke to you, you said we intend to do double-digit margins in the next year if all goes well with the recovery. Would you still hold on to that target?
Yes, I think so. We should be able to do double-digit margins. Export margins depends. There are some spot orders that you get. That you work with the government for a long period of time. For example, there are some governments where we said that not only we will make the buses here, we'll bring in some that are fully built, we'll help you set up a factory, we'll do the training of the manpower to how to build a bus, we'll even set up driver training schools. So we look at a completely holistic manner. For example, in Nigeria, we run the entire BRT system there. It's not just going and selling the bus. We help them manage the whole thing. So in something like that, the margins could be higher because there's lots of service opportunities also involved in that. In some others where you're just selling a bus directly, it might be lesser. So that the overall margins in exports are about the same as domestic, if not slightly more. At rupee at 63, it is slightly better.
And you didn't tell me the export growth for the next year. What are you looking at?
I think we should at least grow 20 to 30% again next year.
You made a point about the defense orders. You know, that's the next big thing everyone's talking about. And the government is going, all out on that. Just tell us about what the opportunity is from government orders going ahead. Also, the fear is that although the value of these JNNURM orders is going up, the profitability is not as high as some of your other orders.
So let me answer the defense part first, and I'll come back to the JNNURM. In defense, we historically made only a 4x4 vehicle, which is the Stallion vehicle, which is world-renowned. In fact, Ashok Leyland is one of the world's largest provider of logistic vehicles to the armed forces. We not only make this in India, there's a 6x6 version of it that we export to Thailand and to many other countries. We are now expanding to a smaller vehicle, a light specialist vehicle. We've also got 8x8 vehicles and 10x10 vehicles, which are very specific. For example, we've won tenders. There have been many tenders that we have competed in. We have won many of them to carry bridges, to carry missiles. We've got vehicles in which there are multi-barrel rocket launchers. So we don't make the guns, we don't make the missiles. But people come to us because we are good at making transportation vehicles. So people will say, I need to carry this. It needs to have, when a gun fires, your vehicle should be able to handle this kind of...
So what are the quantum of these tenders that you won, and how much of them will will flow through, say, in the next couple of years?
Slowly but surely they'll all start to flow in. They're small orders as of now, but it's more to build capability. I mean, today we are at 600 crores in defense. In the long run, like I said, these 5 businesses, I'd like them to grow much faster. I think in 5 to 8 years, defense business is a long gestation business. So once you get it, it's there for a long period of time. There are upgrades to it, but they stay for a long period of time.
So from 600 crores, how much could you grow?
I think in about 5 to 8 years, we should be somewhere around 5,000 to 6,000 crores.
Okay, purely in the defense business?
Purely in the defense business.
Okay. And any fresh capex that you plan to, pump in just to...
For product development, yes, but not for... we have the... in a commercial vehicle, if I have the cab, I have the engines, I have the right power engines, I have the right type of cab. See, if you fire a missile on the back of a truck, the cab collapses. So if you have a cab that can withstand that kind, I mean, our cabs that we have today, that we have for the Indian market, meet all European safety norms. They're strong, they're sturdy. So we've had test firing done. In fact, our defense collaborators from overseas who want to put these guns and all that on the back of our trucks, they liked our product so much, they've taken it overseas, tested it in winter conditions and all that, and they've displayed our trucks with their products on back of our trucks in expos in Europe and other parts of the world. Now we expect to have an export benefit because of this, even if the domestic market doesn't come back as fast as we expect it to.
CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.